Hello, what's up, everybody? It's another week, another AEW Dynamite recap by us, the Beachblasters, on this Friday, June 11th, 2021. Did I get that right? Yeah, I did. Okay, so what's up? How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. What's going on, man?
Same old, same old. We're just chugging on by, halfway through the year already, but
Yeah, crazy.
we're getting it done. What do you think of this Dynamite?
Better than I thought it would be. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Dynamite, but these Dynamites lately have been kinda
Yeah.
so
I actually thought that this Dynamite was pretty fun to watch. At the same time, there was not a lot of consequential things happen this episode. I mean, granted, it's still we're setting it up for however long
what's
it
the next
is
pay-per-view?
to their next big. I guess
All out?
they're
Yeah, all out.
trying to somewhat trying to build up this Saturday show that's coming up in 2 weeks as a big show. They've announced Jungle Boy is going to he's going to get his title shot against Kenny Omega, but yeah, not really advancing anything further down the line. Like
Yeah,
nothing
I get it.
nothing
Yeah.
new as far
Nothing
as
of real
I'm
consequence at least. Yeah.
yeah, like nothing we didn't already know, but shall we just get
Dive
into
into
it?
it, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So they announced right at the beginning that the pinnacle has arrived and business is about to pick up. But then Matt Hardy is in the ring and he says Christian Cage has been jealous of me all along. It's like a long time between these two guys, right? If he's actually really jealous of Matt Hardy for all this time, and he says
20 years?
he's made more money than him, and Angelico is gonna teach him about how he's jealous and how he's pissed off, and I don't know how this correlates, but I mean we got a match with Angelico versus too old for this shit Christian Cage. So what did you think about this one?
It served its purpose, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I I I don't want to be overly mean about this, but it was an okay match.
It was good.
I don't know. I expected more from them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Really?
yeah,
I kind
yeah,
of I kind of thought this was about where it was going to be. I mean, we're in the zone that Christian Cage is going to be working these type of matches where he's just getting his ass beat the entire time and then pulls out a victory at the end, which is what happened. And Angelico worked his left arm, and so the announcers tried to play up that, oh, can he get the kill switch on? His left arm is all busted, but then he just hit the kill switch while he was staring down Matt Hardy, and Christian Cage gets the win. This was funny. Evans jumped in the ring and he looked like he was gonna swing, like he was gonna punch, but then he like tried a spinning like kick. Did you see this?
yeah.
And then Christian just ducks, beats his ass, and then Matt Hardy sneaks in from behind, gives him a twist of fate, and then they were gonna do something else to him, and then Jungle Boy comes out to run off the bad guys, and I was just like, hey Jungle Boy, you got bigger fish to fry right now.
Yeah, that was an odd save. I mean, it's wrestling. Just about anybody can save anybody. I get it. But when did Jungle Boy decide that he wanted to get involved in this feud, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I mean, I guess it goes back to him and Christian from before in the pay-per-view, but I thought that was kind of like done. I thought their hands were washed at that already, but I could be wrong. I guess not. We'll see.
So this is my
So,
favorite part of the match is after when Matt Hardy and everybody beat up Christian Cage and he's dead on the mat, and they always do this, but I never stop laughing. So like Christian Cage wins the match, right? And then his music starts playing, but then the bad guys beat him up, and then he's dead on the mat, and then his music starts playing again. It's like this guy's not celebrating right now. He's dead on the mat. But they always do this when like the good guys win, they get beat up, and then they play his music again, even though he's dead on the mat. It's hilarious. I love it. So up next
pretty funny.
we've got Tony Schiavone in the ring, and he says next week somebody's gonna be making their AEW debut in the ring with the American Nightmare Cody, Brock Anderson. I mean, he pauses for a second, right? It wasn't just me. He pauses.
Yes, he did.
Is Brock? And everybody's like, Lesnar? No, Anderson, the son of the great AA Arn Anderson. Cody comes out and they all come out. Cody, Brock, and Arn Anderson, and they do a lot of baseball references for some reason. And Cody says, I want some revenge too because I got beat by a go-go last week. And then QT comes out and he says, no, I pinned you by myself. And he talks about how Cody loves the fans, and he mentions the IWC, the paying fans, and he literally wants to whip Cody's ass, but he literally wants to whip Cody's ass in a South Beach strap match. South Beach strap match. And Cody says, well, let's do it now. And then Cody runs and QT runs away, and then the good guys like idiots turn around, and then QT whips Arn Anderson in the back. And so Brock takes his ass down and beats him up. So they announced next week is going to be QT and Aaron Solo versus Cody and Brock Anderson. What did you think of this? You're shaking your head.
One word is what I thought of this.
Okay.
What? Literally, like what? Like
who's the beef with? We got Cody and QT, yes. Cody and Go, and now we've got Brock versus QT. It's like Dustin and it's like, how many threads are there in this feud?
Yes, thank you. Like up to this point, so I know as well as me that I've never been sold on this feud. This feud has been
you definitely haven't
way too long, and we've actually sided with the bad guys in this feud.
Yeah, and so did a lot of other people on the internet. It's not just us,
the bad guys.
Yeah,
and so they did this to bring out Brock. Okay, I get it. That's fine. It's cool that they're introducing him. Considering his upbringing, his family line, and everything, I'm sure he'll be a great wrestler. I'm sure Arn wouldn't be pushing him out there unless he's ready. They could have done it better, though. In all honesty, instead of bringing him out to just feed him into this feud, and here's what's really gonna surprise you. I actually thought QT cut a pretty good promo here.
Oh, okay, that is surprising.
This was the best promo I think QT's cut in this feud so far. I actually kind of was with him. He's like, hey, I'm tired of you just, making your own way, pushing people through nepotism when you got people like Camarado and Solo who's been working their ass off and they're not getting their spots. It's like, good point. I can kind of side with QT on that one. And then he brought up the strap match and I'm like, what? And then he just completely threw it out the window for me when he jumped into the ring to whip Arn Anderson. I literally laughed.
That was like weird.
I said, what? I was like, I thought he has a beef with Cody. Why is he whipping Arn Anderson? Like, this is stupid. This makes no sense. I
don't know.
Throw this.
I guess this is just the whole Nightmare Family versus the Factory probably is gonna be the feud that never ends. I think.
Gosh, yeah.
Well, one of the two.
Yeah.
And so up next we've got Eddie, Pac, and Penta versus Brandon Cutler and the Young Bucks. And one guess as to who's gonna take the pin, who's gonna get beat in this match. And if you guess Penta, you would be exactly wrong. It's Brandon Cutler. So before that, they do a little interview. Eddie says, "We gotta be together, right, Pac?" And Pac is like, he didn't say anything. And so this is the one of the best parts of the match when Don Callis comes to sit down and JR just goes, "Oh, hi, Don. Everyone, Don's here."
Don's here.
So, in the most insincere voice ever. But what did you think of this match?
This match was great.
Yeah.
For the amount of work that everybody put in, we knew it was going to be good considering the wrestlers. Even Brandon Cutler's good.
Yeah.
And God, I have to say, I actually feel sorry for Brandon Cutler.
Yeah.
Considering.
The story of this match is how much can everybody, including the Young Bucks, beat up Brandon Cutler. The team, Eddie, Pac, and Penta are beating up Brandon Cutler, and then the Young Bucks are trying to do moves, but they dodge and hit Brandon Cutler. So just pretty much it was like 5-on-1 versus Brandon Cutler.
Yeah.
But I mean,
How many moves did he take? I mean, I should have written them down. Jesus.
a whole bunch. So the story of this match, of course, is that Eddie's trying to cooperate with Pac, but and Penta's down for it, but Pac isn't, and so it's just a typical Young Bucks match. A lot of action, a lot of good stuff going on. Everybody's doing moves, and at the end of it, Eddie hits Brandon with a spinning back fist. Looked like he knocked his teeth out legitimately. Pac covers for the 3. And then, of course, nothing is ever over in AEW once the match ends. The Good Brothers come out. They start beating ass. And then the Elite Hunter, Frankie Kazarian, he looks like he stole Jon Moxley's clothes or something.
He does, yeah.
Right?
For a split second, I thought it was Jon Moxley.
Yeah, because I'm not the only one then. I was like,
is that Jon Moxley? It's like, he had camo and he had the black leather
jacket. I immediately knew it wasn't Jon Moxley, but I was like, did he steal his clothes or something? Like, that's really weird. Anything else you want to add on this, Sith?
I like the way they're going with Frankie's kind of like
the Elite Hunter
persona here. Yeah, being the Elite Hunter. Yeah, he just shows up, beats the shit out of him.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, he's like he's like Batman or something.
Yeah. It's cool. Like, they're giving him something to do. I always thought they didn't use Frankie as good as they could have. At least on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dark. Sorry, Evolution.
Evolution. Okay.
Elevation.
So we got a video about the conspiracy, and I can't do it justice. This was great, especially the part where they show. So they're pretty much recapping the 3-way that happened at Double or Something, where Kenny retained, but they showed the part where Don Callis interferes in the match, and if you watch the match, they're chanting, after that happens, they're chanting, "Fuck you, Don." But through the magic of video editing, they changed the chant to "Thank you, Don," and then they show Kenny winning. It was something else.
I loved how they did the editing just right to make it really. I know that they were gonna do this, I know this was their point. But to make it really look like, Don was some kind of hero to save Kenny through that. You're a crooked ref. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Jeez. That was funny. It was good. Well
so the Pinnacle is out, and Dak says FTR and Santana and Ortiz are not so different. But they've lost their edge. Edge is a big thing in AEW. I don't know how many people have claimed other people have lost edge. It's pretty much like Shawn Michaels' smile at this point, where if you lose your edge in AEW, that's not a good thing. And then Cash says he doesn't have a family, so he doesn't give a shit about yours. And the difference is the Pinnacle is a family. And I was like, am I watching a different program? The Inner Circle feels like much more of a family than the Pinnacle does.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. You're absolutely right. The Pinnacle just feels like a bunch of guys who got together because they're the best. They're on top, I guess.
Yeah.
But they don't really have any shared, experience, with each other.
Yeah.
It seems like they would go their separate ways as soon as they'd leave work.
Yeah, they seem more business than the Inner Circle.
Yes. Work friends, basically.
Yeah. So FTR accepts their challenge. Spears gets on the mic. He questions why Sammy is a hero. It's because he beat you. But then he runs Sammy down. He says all it makes him is a glorified indie wrestler, whatever that means. And we ain't finished. Spears accepts the challenge. And then Wardlow says Hager is obsessed with them. Wardlow brings the best out of him. Hager has invited him into his comfort zone, meaning the MMA octagon. And I don't know if they're allowed to say octagon. But anyway, he says next week he will learn that he's always in Wardlow's war world. And MJF is tired of people saying he's got something to prove. He's already the best. He used to idolize Chris Jericho, but now he found out he's a false god, and he has nothing to prove, so his request is denied. And then he addresses Sammy Guevara. He says he's better than you, and you know it. That's the end. Except it's not. Jericho's on the big screen, and he says, you know what happens when you don't give the Inner Circle what we want. And they can talk about it while they're walking home. So the Inner Circle has sledgehammers, and they destroy the Pinnacle's limo. And the limo is all destroyed. This is the best part. So they destroy the limo for like 30 seconds. They've got sledgehammers, spray paint. They're throwing crap at the limo. The limo's destroyed. And then I don't know who it was, but somebody in the Pinnacle just yelled, "Security!" Did you get that?
Yeah, I got that. That was so good.
So good. So then Hager's got a forklift and he rams the limo into it. And I think he was supposed to flip the limo, but they kind of just gave up after a while because I don't know if he didn't know the controls or the controls were not responding or something, but then he just dropped the limo. And then Jericho says they better call an Uber, and Sammy calls Max a bitch and he'll fight him any day of the week. Your thoughts?
It was good for what it was. I think we all knew that the Pinnacle was pretty much going to accept everything that the Inner Circle was throwing down.
Yeah. I kind of thought MJF wouldn't, though.
Good point. Yeah. MJF's part was perfectly done. He always has just the right amount of emotion and I guess theatricality to it that, it works. It works really well. I like where they're going with this. I just hope they don't drop. I just hope they don't mess up the finish. You know what I mean?
What do you
We
mean?
had Blood and Guts. We had Stadium Stampede. Now we're going to go to the individual programs, right?
Yeah.
So it's becoming more personal. And I'm not the one to say what I'm expecting, I guess, but I know that they can fuck this up in the individual programs if they don't do this right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just hope whatever they're planning, it really, it really either ends this feud or gives it a logical reason to continue.
Yeah. I mean, the one that's really concerning is the MMA match next week. It's like, how are they going to do a fake MMA match in pro wrestling?
That's a good question, man. I know we discussed it last week. What are they going to do exactly? Like, they're going to be throwing real punches or what? I don't know.
Like, yeah. I mean, Hager would win. He's trained for that. I don't know. I mean, maybe Wardlow is. I don't know. But we at least know that Hager has actually been in professional MMA fights. Yeah. So then we've got Darby and Sting. And Darby says, yeah, I'm not going to replace Sting. He wants a handicap match. And he tells Sting to stay home. And Sting says, you know what, man? You ain't got nothing to prove. You were the champ before I showed up. You've proven yourself way before I even came to AEW. And Darby says, stay home. And Sting says, all right. And he offers a fist bump. And then Sting says, like, I'm not gonna come. Like, you asked me. And then Darby says, no, stay home. So there's a trick to this stay home line, isn't there?
Which is
I don't know. But like it's just weird that Darby just keeps emphasizing the word stay home, Stay home. Like, I don't know what that means. We're gonna find out, but it seems like there's Darby is one step ahead of Men on a Mission. What are they called?
Men on a Mission.
Men of the Year.
Men of the Year.
Men of the Year. He's one step ahead of them. So I'm thinking there's gonna be a trick. You got anything to add on this? Anything you thought?
I wish this feud would end. That's my thoughts. But somebody else has, something to say later on in the night about this. So I guess we'll get to that.
You know what would be good is if Scorpio and Ethan Page win, and then they move on to something else.
Please.
Please move on.
Yes, thank you. Anything. Yes, that's all I got to add.
Okay. Yeah. So Evil Uno's got an interview. He talks about Brody Lee. He says he wants to be the one to bring back the TNT title to the Dark Order, and he wants to make Brody proud. Good. Anything you want to say?
No, it was perfect. Damn if I don't want Evil Uno to be TNT champion one day because of this.
Yeah, it did make me want him to become the TNT champion one day, like you said, but not today. Because today Zangief is still the AEW TNT champion. Also, aka
if you didn't say it, I would have.
AKA Miro. I mean, the story of this match, what else can you say? Miro beats the crap out of him. Uno is fighting back. He's doing well fighting back, but Miro's just beating him up, and they're going back and forth, but Miro's easily getting the better of it. And then he's got some hope, and the Dark Order just come down, and they cheer him on from the ramp, and it's kind of weird. Uno does the discus lariat, just like Brody used to do, but then it barely staggers Miro. And then Miro knocks him into next Tuesday with his own clothesline, puts on game over, and then Uno has to tap. And then Miro gloats with the belt in front of the Dark Order. So good match. Or at least that was my thoughts. What were yours?
It was a great match. It did what it needed to do. It really set up Miro as the monster he is. We know he is, but it gave Evil Uno, I think, a fair amount of the spotlight. Because other than, well, I guess nobody's really. I mean, maybe Lance Archer at Double or Nothing. Nobody's really taken him to any kind of limit. Obviously, Miro was probably wrestling at 50% to beat Uno, but it was good for what it was, and I think both men played their part real well. I want to see more things from Uno, and I gotta say, I mean, definitely with your years of watching wrestling and stuff, whoever they're going to finally have take over Miro or go over Miro, they're gonna have to build him up big because it's gonna be huge when they beat Miro.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be like this is the next guy that we want. So
maybe it'll be Brock Anderson. Who knows who it's gonna be? Maybe it'll be Andrade El Idolo.
Oh, good transition there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Speaking of Andrade El Idolo.
Yeah, they had some crap with him.
Yeah. That promo was so weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you feel the same way?
It was just him in his suit, like he's gonna go play cards or something.
I kept waiting for them to say or have some kind of voiceover saying like nobody expected me to come here, blah blah blah, but I did. I'm gonna prove the world wrong. Nothing, literally nothing. They literally said like, "Hey, Andrade, we know that from last week."
So what? So he apparently, but he's the face of
Latinos. Which is weird. He's just literally putting himself out as the face of an entire.
He's just declaring himself the face of Latino. Yeah. So by the way, I forgot to mention I am wearing my Inner Circle shirt tonight.
You're rocking your Inner Circle colors there. I'm rocking my.
I'm gonna step away from the gimmick for 1 week and go Inner Circle.
Interesting. Good
and
for you.
You got the Kenny
gimmick.
Got the Kenny Omega shirt. I don't wear. I never wear any AEW shirts on this stream. You know that.
I didn't know it was a gimmick. Oh.
No. All right.
Yeah, you're just wearing random Japanese wrestling shirts
that are presents for me from my good friend.
Oh, got it.
So then we've got Kenny Omega out and Don Callis, and Kenny Omega is doing his best Kiryu Kazuma impression from the Yakuza series. I don't know if you know what that is. If you don't, go look him up, and you'll see the main protagonist of Yakuza. It's a video game series by Sega, and Kenny Omega's dressed exactly like that guy. So now you know, in case you didn't. And Don says the line of the night. We both agree that this was the line of the night. This is a con job of epic proportions. And he says Jungle Boy is a one-hit wonder. And Kenny says one day he'll be a champ, but he's missing something. So what's he missing, Don? And Callis says he doesn't have guts. I don't know why, but I don't know why they think that, but Jungle Boy's music plays. And then he says Kenny talks too much. Kenny tries a cheap shot, but then Jungle Boy attacks, and then they fight. And eventually Jungle Boy gets the better of it. He goes for the snare trap, but then the Bucks come out and they run him out. Anything else?
It's fine. This is good. It was what it needed to be.
Yeah.
I really do. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say I really do hope that they build this match up a little bit more next week before the actual match takes place. But at the same time, like Jungle Boy is so over without even really saying anything. Do they need to? Would it actually hurt him if they put him out there more? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Like we're pretty much, well, at least I feel like Jungle Boy is not going to beat Kenny Omega.
Oh, I don't guarantee it, but I'm 99% sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to beat Kenny Omega. I mean, that actually would be a very surprising shocker, and I wouldn't mind that actually. Like, hey, I'm Jungle Boy's the best now, and then that can make him a star for the rest of his life if they play it right. But you know, so I really don't know what they should do with this, but maybe just not have anything.
Just have him not talk about it next week at all.
I mean,
I was wondering, like,
no, not talk about them, but they don't need a segment. I mean, we don't need a contract signing. We don't need a weigh-in. We don't need a debate or a press conference. It's like the match is signed. We're gonna watch in 2 weeks on Saturday. Just let it breathe, damn it. That's how I feel.
You bring up a good point. Sometimes AEW has a problem with overselling matches. You know what I mean? Like, you brought up a good point. Press conferences, weigh-ins, contract signings. I get it. Sometimes they need to have that, which is great because it builds up momentum for the match. But do they really need to do it every single time for a big match? Because sometimes big matches are just big matches. We're going to watch, like you said.
Yep.
Right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we've got Jade.
Better.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. So then we've got Jade Cargill. She's with Mark Sterling. They took minutes to just set up that she's that bitch. You have anything?
Getting old, man.
Do you have anything to add?
No, it's getting old. It's getting old 6 weeks ago. I'm getting real tired of this.
Yeah. And then we've got the men of the year, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, and they took about 2 minutes to say that they accept Darby Allin's challenge of a handicap match, and then Scorpio does the Velveteen Dream snap to turn the lights off.
Which is weird because why are they accepting the match that they're the ones that threw down?
Yeah. But I mean, they said a whole bunch of shit, but pretty much the message was they accept, right?
Yeah.
Did I miss something else? Did they say anything else of importance in this?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, So they basically said that Darby was a fool to put this handicap match forward, basically, so on and so forth, and they were giving him a chance to prove himself without Sting, but he decided to make it even, stupider by going and doing it himself, so now they're going to beat his ass. Basically, that's it.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
That's pretty much it. So then, up next, we've got, no joke, my match of the night. Lance Archer versus a guy. And it turns out this guy is Chandler Hopkins. And this is no doubt, I'm not kidding, this was my match of the night. Chandler Hopkins tries to attack Lance Archer before the match starts. And Lance Archer launches him, not like a dart, but just like, I don't know what, like when you play wrestling as a kid with your pillow, and it's just like flying around and everything. That's what he did to Chandler Hopkins. I mean, he threw him across the ring. He did a couple moves. Like, poor Chandler Hopkins probably, like, I don't know, but whatever they paid him, he earned it. Lance Archer.
I don't know if he did. I don't know. It really depends how much they paid him.
Yeah. No, I think he earned it. Whatever they paid him, he earned it, and then some. And then Lance Archer hit a blackout, and he won. I could have watched this for 2 hours.
Wow, really?
Lance Archer versus Chandler Hopkins. I'm not kidding.
This was a straight up beating, which I expected it. Well, which we all knew it would be, because this guy came out of nowhere and he's going up against Lance Archer. He's literally being fed to the wood chipper. But holy crap, if you're not kidding, that man, this guy took some beatings. I mean, I thought Brandon Cutler got his ass beat. This guy, wow. And it took about 10 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn.
So then the Wingmen had an interview, and they don't like Orange Cassidy, but I mean, is there anything like, that's pretty much their message, right? They don't like Orange Cassidy.
That's what I got from it.
So,
what a weird.
So Orange Cassidy goes from a 3-way in the main event at the pay-per-view versus Pac and Kenny Omega to the Wingmen.
I didn't think of that, but that is a very good point. Talk about going down about 6 rungs down the ladder. Oh my God. You're at the top and man, you're right back down to the bottom again. Jeez.
We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know where this is going. We'll see, like you said. But yeah.
So then we've got Nyla Rose versus Leyla Hirsch. What did you think of this? I want to know before I recap this. What do you think of this?
This is a pretty good match, actually.
This was damn good. If it wasn't for Lance Archer versus Chandler Hopkins, this might have been my match of the night.
Yeah, they both put in a lot of work. Okay, so we're kind of on the same page. I was worried you were gonna say like this match sucked.
No, because they didn't like, even though Nyla like messed with the burgers last week, they didn't actually cement that she's gonna be Britt's next challenger. So there was a little bit of doubt in my mind that maybe Leyla Hirsch can pull it out. Unfortunately, she didn't. But yeah, Leyla Hirsch is great. I think she's really good in the ring. But then she took a beast bomb off the top of the rope and she snapped her neck in about 1,000 pieces. So I don't know if we're gonna see her very much in the next couple weeks. I mean, hopefully she didn't actually snap her neck into 1,000 pieces, but that beast bomb looked brutal and it looked like it hurt and her neck snapped like whiplash type. It looked pretty bad, but hopefully she's okay.
Yeah, I know wrestling is dangerous. Don't get me wrong. These guys are trained professionals. I'm not trying to make light of that situation, but some of these moves are just like, I don't know, like,
what are you doing?
Yes, exactly. Like just too dangerous for danger's sake, the beast bomb off the top rope. I don't care who you are, like there's so many ways that can go wrong, man or woman.
I don't care what universe you're from. That's gotta hurt.
I don't know where that's from. Sorry.
You don't know where that's from?
No, where's that from?
Phantom Menace. During the pod race, where one of them like crashed and burned, and the announcer is like, "Ooh, I don't care what universe you're from. That's gotta hurt."
Now I remember.
Yeah. Prequels looking like pretty damn good movies nowadays, huh?
Yeah, hard to believe, huh? Gosh.
Anyway, AEW. Tony's with Britt and Reba, and Britt says that Nyla looked good flipping those burgers, so she should do it full time. And she's just another jealous bitch in the back. This title makes Nyla Rose, but Baker makes the title, just like she makes the division. Yours truly, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
This was perfect. She does such a good job with the promos.
Yep.
I can just see her doing promos. I don't need her to wrestle. Just have her do promos. But what really sold this whole segment for me was watching Tony's reactions to Britt's points. Yes, those were so good. When she said, "Oh, you're so good at flipping burgers, maybe you should make a career out of it or whatever." And Tony was like, "Wow." Wow.
Tony Schiavone's the best. Britt's the best.
So good.
Reba's the best. This is the best.
Agreed.
Can't praise them enough. So then we got the main event. 10 and Hangman Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I was gonna say Will Hobbs, but he's no longer Will Hobbs. He officially and legally changed his name to Powerhouse, I heard. No, he didn't. Powerhouse Hobbs and Brian Cage. So what did you think of this?
It was a good match. It was good. It was a good finisher for what we've seen on this Dynamite. Action-packed, nonstop, total nonstop action.
Wow, a lot of impactful moves, huh?
Exactly, very much. Yeah, there was no way out, man. Everybody was all in.
Yep, everybody came in their full gear.
Yeah, you know it, man. I think we're witnessing a revolution in wrestling, honestly.
Wow, you got them all pretty much.
Yeah, I think we did. I think we hit it out of the park.
Yeah. So I didn't really take too much notes in this match, but like I would say that this match was, if I had to describe this match, I would say it was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun, a lot of action, a lot of Hangman is very much one of the most popular guys out there. You can tell. The crowd was actually I didn't mention this, but after last week's dismal crowd, this week's crowd was very good.
Way better.
Yeah, Hangman of course is very popular. So the finish comes when Ricky Starks. We've gone on record about 1 billion times praising Ricky Starks. And nothing's changed this week. He's the greatest. he tosses the belt to Brian Cage, and Brian Cage tosses it back. He doesn't want to cheat. And Taz is on commentary. He's like, "What the hell, man?" And then Ricky smacks Brian Cage. And I don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe if you're Ricky Starks, you can get away with it, but I wouldn't slap Brian Cage in the face.
Yeah. Short of Miro slapping Brian Cage in the face, I think everybody else would need to run.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So Cage follows him to the back, and then Hook's like, what do I do? And then I guess Taz like motioned him to go follow them. So Hook goes and he follows them. And then Powerhouse Hobbs is all by himself, so he can't beat two guys on his own. You know, it's like nothing wrong with that. He gets the buckshot lariat, and then 10 pins him for the win. And then another line of the night, JR tells Taz, "I think you need to have a caucus." And then Taz says,
Very true.
Taz says, "I agree." It was so good. And then the Dark Order come out, and they all celebrate, and that's a happy ending to Dynamite. No men of the year come out to attack. No Elite. No
Hardy family.
No
office.
Hardy family. No wingmen.
Yeah.
It's just a happy ending to Dynamite. What the hell's going on? I like it.
The more I think about it,
Let's keep it up.
Think about it, and the more you bring it up, the more you say it. This was odd, very odd finish to Dynamite.
Yeah.
What has been like 8 Dynamites in a row where somebody comes out and attacks somebody at the end?
It feels like every single week. It's probably not. It's probably not every week, but it sure as hell feels that way.
Yeah, they're batting about 750 for sure. It's like 3/4 of the time. So this was great. Good ending. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add? Anything else that stood out to you that we did not cover?
2 things. One's gonna be kind of weird.
Okay.
And one, I think pretty much just, it's kind of obvious, I guess, once you think about it or really break it down. The weird one is, did you see MJF's shoes?
No, I didn't.
MJF had plaid shoes. He literally had a patterned plaid shoes.
Really? Was it like the same pattern as the scarf?
Almost very similar, but they were blue shoes. But the pattern was very similar, and I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I can only imagine how expensive those shoes were. They were dress shoes and probably custom made. Yeah.
Okay.
And the other thing I wanted to say was that I don't know. I guess I've noticed it all along, but when you brought up Page, I was thinking back, like, does this guy not just check every box as like a wrestler, like a real pro wrestler that's completely over with the crowd from top to bottom? Like, he seems like this was what he was meant to do. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, he's just so natural in the ring. Everything he does, the way he sells moves, the way he does moves, the way he's just, always, in it somewhere or the other. I can't explain it, but he has everything down,
Yeah.
Like, some guys are great wrestlers. Some guys are great at doing certain moves. Some guys are great on the promos, so on and so forth. Hangman Page, if I had to build a perfect wrestler, maybe not the best or highest flyer or the hardest hitter, just like, trying to get a 9 out of 10 on most boxes, it would be Hangman Page for me. Honestly.
Okay. I mean, I can't disagree on that.
Yeah, I can see why he's so over. He's just, it's like he's like a fish in water. I guess that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
He's very good.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't always that way, at least from the beginning of AEW. But
you didn't think he was always that way? I thought he was pretty much.
He was great, excellent, one of the best they had. But I think he's really hit his stride in the last, I guess, since losing the belt to, or not losing the belt. I'm sorry. Losing the tag team belt.
Him and Kenny.
But then losing to Kenny Omega at wherever in that tournament they had back in November of last year. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. Hangman Page is great. All subjective. But yeah, I mean, that's a good take. Hangman Page is spectacular, and he's gonna be the guy to beat Kenny Omega. You've heard it here first.
Yep.
Actually, it's not like a hot take or anything. There's plenty of people who've said that, but
feel the same way.
I mean, it's not like it's anything that nobody else has thought of. It's not like, oh my god, Hangman Page? Like, whatever. Anyway, anything else?
That's it from me, bro. What about you? Anything?
No, that's it. So, as always, there's a bunch of buttons. Thumbs up, follows, likes, subscribes, donate your savings, all that stuff. Go click them. You'll see us again. Until then, we bid you adieu. As always, be good, stay safe, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.
Real soon. Thanks, guys. Take care.